Guys, what's going on? Welcome to Serial at Midnight. My name is Heath, and I'm very tired because last night was Wrestlemania. It was a very long show. I was up very late, and this is the morning after, and I'm still feeling the effects of staying up so late to watch Wrestlemania. I wanted to make this video basically to be accountable to you guys because I did, after all, just a few days ago post a video complaining basically about the current state of the WWE and asking, basically airing my conflict. Like, do I watch WrestleMania? Do I skip it this year because I'm not really feeling it? And so this is to be accountable. Yes, I watched WrestleMania. I did renew my WWE Network subscription. I watched NXT TakeOver. The main event was fantastic. In fact, the main event of NXT TakeOver was my favorite match of anything from this WrestleMania weekend. But I'd like to blame my teenage daughter for renewing this because she did specifically ask to watch the main event of WrestleMania. But I know myself, and I will be honest, I probably would have ordered it anyway, just out of curiosity, out of some weird loyalty to the WWE. But here's the thing, we're not going to get into like match ratings or anything like that. We don't need another Dave Meltzer. And goodness knows there's enough YouTube people talking about wrestling on the internet, so we don't need any more of that. But I did take notes in the famous X-Men notebook. This is basically the Serial at Midnight Bible. Every idea goes into the X-Men notebook. All the notes, commentary notes for the Patreon commentaries, it's all in here. So I took notes during the show last night, and I thought it'd be fun. I haven't revisited these since I wrote them, just to go back through. This was like as it was happening, so I didn't live tweet it, but this is the next best thing. So WrestleMania 35 notes, spoilers it says, so I guess I'm going to talk about results probably. The first words of the opening video package are "Shakespeare once said," and I have written most cliche of all Shakespeare quotes. I actually remember that quote popping up in a DuckTales episode in the late 80s. When that hit, I was just like, oh geez, this is wrestling. This is professional wrestling. This isn't Shakespeare. Let's not overthink it, guys. It didn't start strong for me, but hosted by Alexa Bliss. Woohoo! She's the best. That's what I've got here. I'm so happy that she's kind of left the Harley Quinn gimmick behind her and is legitimately just kind of inheriting this authority. She's great. And then Hogan, legit goosebumps. The Hulkster is back as it should be. Listen, Hulk Hogan did some bad things. I think he knows he did some bad things. He paid the price. Hulk Hogan belongs in the WWE. It's the company that he helped to build. Hulkamania in the 80s and in the 90s definitely ran wild. He was one of the, if not the figurehead of the entire WWF, WWE. So good to see him at the show. In the Silver Dome, brother. Let's see what I got next. If there was ever any doubt that Brock Lesnar was the heel in this feud with Seth Rollins, they've had Heyman step on Hulk and Bliss's pose off. That was a cool move. And then Heyman comes down and it says, great promo from Heyman. If we're not the last, we're the first. Michael Cole references Seth Rollins cashing in his Money in the Bank 4 years ago. That's great continuity. Use the past. The actual match between Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar, I said, great curtain jerk match. Industry term. What am I doing? Bye-bye, Brock. Bring on the age of Rollins. I was very excited about that. You guys, I really enjoyed this WrestleMania until I didn't enjoy it anymore. Ad for buy one shirt, get one for $1. Tempting. That's what I wrote. AJ versus Randy Orton, I said classic old school. They're working holds. And Orton gave AJ Styles a thumb in the eye. That was really cool. That's very old school wrestling. And I like old school wrestling. I'm not sure Orton, this is what I wrote, not sure if Orton is showing up for this match. It feels like he's coasting. Good match. AJ always shows up, but it might have been even better if Orton had. And that's what I wrote. Listen, Orton is a natural. Chris Jericho says this a lot, that Randy Orton is a great natural wrestler and he could be even better if he really tried and applied himself. I didn't really feel like he showed up last night for WrestleMania, but what do you guys think? Fatal 4-Way, the Usos, Sheamus, Cesaro, Aleister Black, Nakamura, etc. Aleister Black is great. I went to make dinner. Shane versus Miz. Shane is working as a heel. Sorry for the industry term. Miz is sympathetic. That's surprising to me. Shane is not a wrestler. That's very emphatic here. If I never saw Shane enter a ring again, I would be fine. I'm uninvested in this match. Get out of the ring, Miz's dad. And that's all I have to say about that match. I watched it. I was like, I don't get, like, Shane always comes out. He climbs up on something high. He does a daredevil stunt. The end. I don't care. You're not a wrestler, dude. Like, why are you there? What you're like? I'm getting off the notes. I'll stay on topic. I'm sorry. Women's match with everybody. That's what I wrote, because it was essentially the women's match with everybody. I zone out during huge matches like this with tons of performers and spots, and I did. I could not tell you who won. Totally uninterested in that match, and it's not the women's fault. If there had been 2 or 3 women in the ring, it would have been much more engaging for me. I didn't watch the pre-show. I didn't watch the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale, or whatever they call it, because I'm just not interested. I like the Royal Rumble. That's like the one time of the year that I'm interested in seeing a bunch of people all at the same time. And I know why they do it. They do it because Vince McMahon wants everybody to get a moment. He wants everybody to get a payday. But we're going to come back to this in a second. Kofi versus Daniel Bryan. High expectations. I could really do without all the backstage shots of the locker room cheering on Kofi. I think we cut to the backstage 5 or 6 times, and they're always just like, "Come on, Kofi! Come on, Kofi!" No, stop it. They're clearly trying to tell a story by using backstage footage. Don't cut. Let the people in the ring tell the story. Let your commentators tell the story. That was a good match, though. It was always great to see. I'm so happy Daniel Bryan is able to wrestle again, and it's good to see Kofi getting attention that he deserves and probably should have gotten a long time ago. Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio. Not interested. Entrances were longer than the match. Cool. That's all I got on that one. Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. I'm curious, but really tired of Reigns being pushed as the guy. He's not the bad guy. He's not a good guy. He's just the guy. And then what he says, like, I don't care. I've seen that match so many times. Crowd seemed really quiet. Cookie cutter Roman Reigns match. It seems to have been a reward for him coming back, which is, I guess, is fine. I understand he's been through a lot, so I'm not necessarily knocking it, but I've just seen that Roman Reigns, like, he does the same matches, right? Okay, Doctor of Thugonomics, question mark? That really sums it up. Why is John Cena back in the Doctor of Thugonomics gimmick? Sorry for the industry term. I'm ready for this show to be over, but there's still 4 more matches. Guys, this show is ridiculously long. I actually think they could have cut 5 matches. I'm not going to say exactly which ones I think they were, but they definitely... Or maybe just have some matches be like 5 or 10 minutes long. Like, we don't have to have big old slobber knockers on every match. And there, look, the Rey Mysterio Samoa Joe match was over. Poor Rey Mysterio. Like, hey, you want to come to WrestleMania and just get pinned in like a minute? HBK comes out for commentary on the Triple H versus Batista match. Listen, HBK, Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, probably, he's in my top 3 for sure. I think he's my number 1. I know a lot of people go like, well, Ric Flair was the best. I think Shawn Michaels is my favorite. Batista, great entrance until he tripped on the ropes. So this year, Triple H is doing Mad Max. And I wrote, he had the water in his mouth the whole time. The tables must be reinforced. Poor Dave. He took several bumps on tables that just, I think they were supposed to break, and then they didn't, and it looked really painful. That's all I have to say about that match. I enjoyed it. It was a very late 90s, early 2000s. It was a very Attitude Era, or the early 2000s style of match, which is fitting because that's when he was really, that early 2000s era is when Batista and Triple H were probably at the top of their game. So I kind of wish this match had been 5 years ago, but they put on a good show. I was happy with it, and I'll probably revisit it. Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin. How did Corbin get this match? How is he the guy? Is this feud over? Is Kurt Angle going to show up on Raw or on SmackDown or on some other show? Because this was weak. I think everybody agrees this was probably the worst match in the entire card. A sad, poor farewell to a man who's been as good to wrestling as Kurt Angle. Baron Corbin? Why? Just why? But I said Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley. I'm too burned out to appreciate this. Hopefully it will be short, and it was. Okay, I do appreciate Alexa Bliss's wardrobe changes, and I also appreciate the lack of Stephanie McMahon on this year's show, which is true because Alexa Bliss was great. They had her host. She came out like 4 or 5 times. Different outfit every time. Alexa Bliss is fantastic. She's a star. And so it's good to see. Why couldn't Shane have set this one out? I wish he had. Get the kids, get the McMahons off the pay-per-views. Get them off the show. Let's let the new talent rise up and kind of have this stuff. Main event. Okay, I got incredible entrance. I love Charlotte coming in on a helicopter, it reminds us that she is the champ daughter of the jet flying, you know, wheeling dealing with Ric Flair. It is Ric Flair. Like, what a way to come to the ring. What a way to make your entrance. I loved Joan Jett playing in Ronda Rousey. That actually gave me goosebumps because there's just one of those cool WrestleMania moments. I have nothing to say about the match. Really, I was watching it. What's up with the finish? That's what I've got. The second to last note is, what's up with the finish? Was it botched? Sorry for the industry term. Or was it a screw job? So, there's another industry term. What happened with the finish? Because Rousey's shoulders were not on the mat for 3 seconds, and I'm not sure if they were supposed to be, or if what happened is what. It was a very quick finish. It was just like, it kind of seemed to come out of nowhere. They'll definitely have to either milk that or explain that further on. I'm assuming, listen, Raw hasn't come on yet as I'm recording this. I don't know, it was a good match. It was a really cool, as a women's main event match, the first ever women's main event match. That match had more heat. It had more exciting plot build than anything else on the card. It was a fantastic main event for the most part. I wish the finish had been a little bit better, but here's the thing. It's a 5.5 hour event. Again, not like it started, like at my house, it started at 6 o'clock and it was over at 11:30. Now I got a 13-year-old who wanted to stay up for this main event. And I said to her this morning, I said, so was it worth it? I know you really wanted to see that main event. Was it worth staying up for, you know, watching the entire thing to get to that main event match? And she seriously thought about it. And then at the end, guess what she said? Not really. And I kind of have to agree with that, because it was awesome to have that historic main event women's match. But as the finishing, you know, the end of the night for everything, like, I don't know, it's just too much. I love WrestleMania. I'm still not sure I made the right call by watching it last night. I'm really not. I kind of disappointed in myself. It was good to support the women's match. It was good to see the Batista Triple H thing. Nose ring spot. It was interesting too. But I don't know. I'm very tired. What did you guys think about the show? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll talk some wrestling. Guys, thank you. Until next time, I will catch you later.